A new era, introducing Project 2025. This ambitious initiative aims to redefine the future of the United States, setting a bold new course for the nation. Project 2025 is a blueprint. It is a meticulously crafted plan that envisions a transformative path forward addressing the most pressing issues of our time. It outlines a radical vision for the United States. This vision is not just about policy changes, but about a fundamental shift in how the country operates and interacts with the world. Conceived by the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, it proposes sweeping changes across all sectors. The Foundation's experts have spent years developing these ideas, aiming to influence the nation's trajectory. From immigration to healthcare, the environment to foreign policy, Project 2025 seeks a fundamental realignment of American power. It addresses the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century with a comprehensive approach. Supporters hail it as a corrective. They believe it will restore American strength and sovereignty, bringing back a sense of pride and purpose to the nation. They believe it will restore American strength and sovereignty. This vision resonates with those who feel that the country has lost its way and needs a strong hand to guide it back. Critics, however, view it with alarm. They argue that the proposed changes could lead to negative consequences both domestically and internationally. They fear its policies will lead to isolationism, inequality, and environmental devastation. The potential for increased division and conflict is a significant concern for many. This project has ignited fierce debate. The discussions are intense and passionate, reflecting the high stakes involved. Its ambitious scope and controversial proposals have captivated the nation. People from all walks of life are engaging in conversations about what this project means for the future. It has also sparked concern far beyond American shores. International observers are closely monitoring the developments, aware that the outcomes could have global implications. The world watches and waits. The decisions made in the coming years will shape not only the future of the United States but also the global order. The stakes are incredibly high. Every move, every decision carries weight and significance, impacting millions of lives. Project 2025 has the potential to reshape the global landscape for decades to come. Its success or failure will be a defining moment in history, influencing the direction of the world for generations. Closing the borders, the push for mass deportation. This initiative has sparked intense debate across the nation, with strong opinions on both sides of the aisle. The plan, known as Project 2025, aims to reshape the landscape of American immigration policy. At the heart of Project 2025 lies a controversial immigration policy. This policy is not just a minor adjustment but a sweeping overhaul that seeks to address what some see as a long-standing issue. It calls for the deportation of 11 million undocumented immigrants. This staggering number represents a significant portion of the population, and the logistics of such an operation are daunting. This plan has drawn both praise and condemnation. On one hand, supporters see it as a necessary step to uphold the rule of law and secure the nation's borders. Supporters argue that it will protect American jobs and reduce crime. They believe that by removing undocumented immigrants, there will be more opportunities for American citizens and a decrease in illegal activities. Critics, however, point to the immense human cost. They argue that the policy is inhumane and will lead to widespread suffering among immigrant communities. They highlight the economic contributions of undocumented workers. These workers often take on jobs that are essential to various industries, including agriculture, construction, and hospitality. They also question the feasibility and morality of such a massive deportation effort. The ethical implications of uprooting millions of people are profound and complex. The social fabric of the nation is at stake. Communities that have been built over decades with deep-rooted connections and relationships could be irreparably damaged. Families could be torn apart. The emotional toll on children and parents alike would be devastating, with long-lasting effects on their mental and emotional well-being. Communities built over generations could be shattered. The sense of belonging and community that many immigrants have fostered would be at risk. The economic impact is equally uncertain. While some argue that deporting undocumented immigrants will open up jobs for citizens, others warn of the negative consequences for businesses. Businesses reliant on immigrant labor could face collapse. Many industries depend heavily on the labor provided by undocumented workers, and their removal could lead to severe labor shortages. The agricultural sector, heavily dependent on undocumented workers, could experience crippling labor shortages. This could lead to higher food prices and a decrease in the availability of certain products. The proposed deportation plan raises profound questions. It challenges the nation's values and forces a conversation about what it means to be American. It forces a reckoning with America's identity as a nation of immigrants. As the debate rages on, the country must grapple with its past, present and future and decide the path it wants to take. A canal reclaimed. Dreams of Panamanian control. The Panama Canal, a marvel of engineering and a vital artery of global trade, has long been a symbol of international cooperation and conflict. Its strategic importance cannot be overstated, as it serves as a crucial link between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, facilitating the movement of goods and military assets across the globe. One of the most audacious proposals within Project 2025 is the reclamation of the Panama Canal. This proposal has sparked intense debate among policymakers, economists, and military strategists. The idea is to bring the canal back under American control, a move that proponents argue would secure American interests in the region. This strategic waterway, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, has been under Panamanian control since 1999. The transfer of control was a significant moment in Panamanian history, symbolizing the end of a long period of American influence and the beginning of a new era of sovereignty for Panama. Proponents of the plan argue that it is crucial for American national security and economic interests. They believe that American management of the canal would ensure its efficiency and security, preventing any potential threats that could arise from mismanagement or hostile actions. They claim that Panama mismanages the canal, posing a threat to global trade. Congested shipping lanes and delays have been cited as evidence of inefficiency, leading to frustration among international shipping companies and traders who rely on the canal for timely deliveries. Critics, however, view this proposal as a dangerous throwback to American imperialism. They argue that reclaiming the canal would undermine Panama's sovereignty and could be seen as an aggressive act of neo-colonialism, reminiscent of a bygone era when powerful nations exerted control over smaller countries. They argue that it would severely damage relations with Latin America. The region has a long history of resisting foreign intervention, and such a move could reignite old tensions, leading to a deterioration of diplomatic ties and cooperation. It could even lead to military conflict. The potential for armed confrontation cannot be ignored, as nations may feel compelled to defend their sovereignty and interests, leading to a dangerous escalation of hostilities. The international community watches with bated breath. World leaders and international organizations are closely monitoring the situation, aware that any drastic action could have far-reaching consequences for global stability and peace. Seizing the Panama Canal would be a highly provocative act. Such a move would likely be met with strong resistance from the international community, potentially leading to sanctions, diplomatic isolation, and even military retaliation. It would likely trigger widespread condemnation and diplomatic isolation. Countries around the world would condemn the action, and the United States could find itself isolated on the global stage, facing significant political and economic repercussions. The economic consequences are also unpredictable. The uncertainty surrounding the canal's control could lead to market instability, affecting global trade and economies in unforeseen ways. Global trade could be disrupted, leading to uncertainty and instability. The ripple effects of such a disruption would be felt worldwide, impacting everything from the availability of goods to the stability of international markets. The Earth on Hold environmental policies in question. Project 2025 proposes a radical shift in environmental policy. It advocates for increased fossil fuel production and a withdrawal from international climate agreements. Supporters argue that these measures are necessary to achieve energy independence and boost the economy. However, critics sound the alarm about the potential for environmental devastation. They point to the overwhelming scientific consensus on climate change. They warn that ignoring these warnings will have catastrophic consequences for the planet. The long-term impacts of these policy changes could be severe. Increased carbon emissions could accelerate global warming, leading to more extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and mass extinctions. The withdrawal from international agreements could undermine global efforts to combat climate change, jeopardizing the future of the planet. Section 5. Global Health at Risk, the WO Withdrawal Debate. Project 2025 calls for the United States to withdraw from the World Health Organization, or WHO. Proponents of this move accuse the WO of being ineffective, corrupt, and beholden to China. They argue that the U.S. can better address global health challenges through bilateral agreements and its own agencies. Critics, however, warn that withdrawing from the WHO would be disastrous for global health. They point to the organization's crucial role in coordinating responses to pandemics, eradicating diseases, and promoting public health. The potential consequences of a U.S. withdrawal are far-reaching. It could weaken the WHO's ability to respond to future health emergencies. It could also undermine global cooperation on health issues, leading to a more fragmented and less effective response to future pandemics. Section 6. Expanding Influence Manifest Destiny for a New Age. Embedded within Project 2025 is a vision of American dominance. It suggests expanding U.S. influence over neighboring countries, particularly in Latin America. This harkens back to the era of Manifest Destiny, a 19th century belief that the U.S. had a divine right to expand its territory and influence. Proponents argue that asserting American power in the region is necessary to counter the influence of China and other rivals. Critics, however, warn of the dangers of neo-imperialism. They argue that such a policy would destabilize the region, provoke anti-American sentiment, and lead to conflict. The international community is wary. Latin American nations in particular view this aspect of Project 2025 with deep suspicion. They fear a return to a history of U.S. interventionism in their affairs. Section 7. Economic Upheaval. Winners and Losers in Project 2025. Project 2025's policies have the potential to create both winners and losers in the American economy. The proposed tax cuts and deregulation are likely to benefit corporations and wealthy individuals. However, the cuts to social programs and the potential for trade wars could disproportionately harm low-income families and workers. The economic impact is difficult to predict with certainty. While some industries may benefit from the proposed policies, others could suffer. The uncertainty created by these radical changes could lead to market volatility and economic instability. Section 8. A world divided international reactions and concerns. Project 2025 has sent shockwaves through the international community. Allies are questioning America's commitment to global leadership and cooperation. Adversaries are emboldened by what they perceive as American isolationism and retreat. The potential for a more unstable and conflict-prone world is real. The breakdown of international norms and agreements could lead to a more chaotic and dangerous global order. Section 9. An Uncertain Future. Navigating the Path of Project 2025. Project 2025 represents a radical departure from the status quo. Its ambitious scope and controversial proposals have ignited fierce debate both within the United States and around the world. The potential consequences of this project are far-reaching and difficult to predict with certainty. What is clear is that Project 2025 has ushered in an era of profound uncertainty. The path forward is fraught with risk. Navigating this treacherous terrain will require careful consideration, open dialogue, and a willingness to find common ground in the face of deeply held differences.